I'm Morgan from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a look at the Western Rise Voyager Travel35 backpack, which I've been testing for 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, hit subscribe so that we can continue making content that helps you travel smarter. Let's jump in. So the external materials include a weather-resistant 420D ballistic nylon, as you can kind of see right here, as well as a 630D Oxford nylon with protective coating, which is kind of here on the sides and on the bottom. It feels super robust, very durable, and very protective. It even feels pretty comfortable to the hand as well, despite its super durable and tough exterior, especially towards like the sides and the bottom with the protective coating. I have like no concern setting this down in water or dirt. Any kind of like hair or dirt wipes off pretty easily. All of the zippers are YKK as well, and they have an AquaGuard coating along all of the tread for all of the different pockets as well, which is like a nice touch. It just ensures that no moisture gets inside of any of the pockets or compartments. There are 3 minimal grab handles. You can see 2 on this, 1 on each side, and it kind of feels like a super soft leather, but there is no leather used anywhere on this bag. It is very well stitched in and feels very sturdy. And then there's one on the top as well. It sits up against the bag, so it kind of like stays out of the way, which is really nice. The only concern really is just because of how thin they are. They don't have any kind of padding, so I wouldn't recommend this for like extended periods. Using this to carry, just because of like the thinness can sometimes eat into your hand, especially if you have like a lot of heavier gear inside. The overall aesthetic is pretty minimal. It's got like a very simple, very clean face. And one of the really nice parts about this bag is the branding is kind of kept very inconspicuous. Most branding is literally just on like the zipper pulls, and so it doesn't necessarily advertise the brand or that it is like a travel backpack with potentially, you know, sensitive or important gear inside. And so I found that to be like a really, really great touch, especially when traveling. The harness system is very well thought out and very robust. Let's see, starting with the shoulder straps, you can see they have a nice contour to them. They are decently wide to help kind of distribute the weight across your shoulders, and they have like a nice amount of padding as well. I found it to be like super comfortable. Another nice thing about these shoulder straps is the bottom can be disconnected using a magnet, as you can kind of see there. By unhooking this, there's a dedicated section right here where you can store each shoulder strap if you don't want to carry it that way. So you can kind of free up and make it a little bit more streamlined and remove any potential dangling, especially if you want to use the luggage pass-through, which sits right here, and you set the roller luggage on top. By storing the shoulder straps, you remove any unnecessary dangling, which can be a nice added touch. The shoulder strap also, or this backpack also comes with a sternum strap and a hip belt. And I found that both are super easy to use. The sternum strap connects from one side to the other, and it's on like a rail system, so it slides very easily and allows for a great amount of customizability. And it connects with a magnet as well. It's really, really strong. I've not had any issues with it like slipping. And the sternum strap is also removable. On this side of the rail, you can slip this little tab through this hole, and it removes the entire sternum strap so that you can get rid of it if you don't want to use it. Similar, the hip belt also uses a magnet to connect in the middle, and it's a little bit wider, has like a little bit more surface area than the sternum strap, but this is also fully removable as well. by removing, as you can kind of see here, it comes and attaches by magnets, and with the use of all of these different magnets, none of them have like slipped or come undone accidentally, which is really nice to see, especially if you have like heavier gear. And so, like I said, this was removable as well. So this is what it looks like on. As you can see, it has a somewhat large form factor, but it is still incredibly comfortable, especially with the addition of the sternum strap and the hip belt. Those two combined, especially if you have like a lot of heavier gear or you're using this for like a single bag travel, it definitely helps with providing extra support with heavier gear in your backpack. It's really comfortable without the sternum strap and the hip belt, but if you prefer to have something with a little bit more support, or you're trying to distribute the weight a little bit more evenly, it's definitely like a nice addition. Taking a look at some of the secondary compartments on this pack. Starting off with the top, you can kind of see here, there are a couple zippers. This one right here is a quick access compartment, which is really nice. It's got like a felt lining to it, so you can store more sensitive items in here, like a phone or glasses. Just keep in mind that it may get jumbled around, so if you put other gear in there, maybe consider putting like your glasses in a case or something like that. This pocket is really pretty like spacious. Inside I just have my iPhone Pro Max, a pair of Bluetooth AirPods, and then like as you can see, the rest, it's still got like plenty of space. This is the this little, there you go, this little bump right here is my laptop in the laptop compartment. So that's when I was saying like if you put like something fragile in here, it's padded, but it still might incur like some bumps or runs the possibility of getting smushed. At the top is a nice dedicated key leash, which is also on you guessed, another magnet, which super easy to use and hook. It is really nice quality and just has like a simple little carabiner, and it just quickly attaches. Works really well for getting your keys in and out. Let's see. On the side, this is a dedicated water bottle compartment, and so it's zippered so you can completely close it. This does share room with the main compartment of the pack though, which is something to keep in mind. So because I have a lot of stuff in the main compartment already, you can kind of see there's not a lot of space for a water bottle. And so another interesting aspect of this compartment is that it's not just vertical, it uses this space as well. So you can slip the water bottle in at an angle and it can sit or rest like that. I found like a 24-ounce Owala water bottle works well, even if you use it with a 32-ounce. Some larger water bottles may not necessarily fit all the way in, but you can still use this compartment, and I've found like if you just close it a little bit, it keeps the water bottle secure without any issue of anything like falling out. On the bottom, there's a dedicated shoe compartment, which is pretty cool. Uses dual zippers right here, and it comes to each side. And so inside I just have a pair of shoes. These are Suaves, and they fold down really flat. I would say that this is probably more ideal for like smaller, thinner shoes, just because of how much space it eats into the main compartment. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, there's a dedicated like tech sleeve or tech compartment, I would call it. And so that is accessible right here through these two zippers. And they come down all the way to maybe like a third of the way down to the side of the pack. And inside, the whole compartment is nicely padded. but it's got some nice organization in here. So this is a dedicated laptop sleeve, and it can fit up to an 18-inch device. And so I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro there. And then in front of that is a tablet sleeve, which you can also use for books, magazines, tablets, journals, etc. And then on the other side right here, you can see a zippered pocket with mesh. And here I just store smaller accessories. It basically comes like right down to here, and it keeps smaller items at the top, so they're still very easy and accessible. I found to be like a really nice touch. And so inside I just have a cable and a brick. The rest of the compartment can be used as like a standard area to kind of slip things in. It doesn't expand a whole lot, so I would say this is probably more ideal for flatter items like other books, journals, notebooks, etc. And now the main compartment, it has a front style loading, and it opens with like a U. So these two zippers come all the way down to the very bottom and allow you to get like a really nice overview of everything inside. This is really super easy and comfortable to pack. One thing to note though is because of this design, it means that you kind of have to be a little cautious where you place where you put the bag down. Otherwise, if you put it in if you put it down in dirt or something that is like a dirty surface, that may transfer to the back, which can transfer to your back. So something to keep in mind there. The main compartment has a nice, minimal degree of organization, I would say. Starting with this panel right here, it has two zippered mesh pockets, and thanks to the design, you can place like a good amount of stuff in here, and it is expandable to a degree, I would say. And so when I would test this and use it as like a gym bag, I would put like toiletries in here and stuff like that for like easy access. And then in this one, it's basically identical. And I have just like some swimming stuff there, but it gives you like a nice amount of like organization and keeps smaller things. So I would also use this for like toiletries, and then maybe like this for tech, depending on what I need. The rest of the main compartment is basically just like a nice spacious area to store stuff. And so inside I have two large packing cubes and a small packing cube. And so removing all of this stuff, you can see it's very spacious. It has like a nice amount of capacity. And then this is also where I mentioned earlier, it shares space with the water bottle compartment. So for example, if I wanted to store this here, it fits. But you can also see it in here as well. So it's just something to keep in mind. And the same is with the shoe compartment underneath. Like this is the excess material that stores the shoes. So just something to keep in mind. This compartment also has side access, which I thought was like a pretty cool touch. On the opposite side of the water bottle, a similar J-style opening allows you to get in and out of the pack if you need to grab something really quickly on the go without wanting to take your backpack completely off. So there you have it, the Western Rise Voyager Travel35 backpack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.